Greetings, life forms, wherever you're receiving us. This is Justin, and this is the Nerd News Cafe Avengers Infinity War Review Part 3. Let me commend you for sticking with us to this point. I know that this has been a trial, but hopefully it's been enjoyable. This is going to be the last part, I promise. So sit back and relax. Let's wind this thing up. Let's get into it.
Oh man. Did you guys, I'm sorry, I'm so random, but did you guys the thing about Raccoon where he goes, how much for the arm? And he walked off, he goes, I'm going to get that
I'm gonna get that arm.
I'm going to get that arm.
Well,
I think
unfortunately,
he
you can't get that arm, but that gun no longer has an owner. So I'm willing to bet we're going to see at least one scene where Rocket picks up Bucky's gun and goes ham.
I did
and
enjoy Bucky and Rocket.
I am so glad you said
that. Was fun.
Because, like, it was almost a callback to the first Guardians movie where, like, Groot's spinning around whooping ass, and on the other side, Rocket is just unloading the clip, like that close-up of both of their faces. Like, I love that callback. And plus, it's like, I could, like I talked about the buddy cop comedy of, you know, Groot, Rocket, and Thor. I'm pretty confident I would watch a Bucky and Rocket buddy cop movie.
Oh, absolutely. Him strong silent, Rocket doing all the talking, but they're both the most bloodthirstiest people we've ever met.
Exactly. Yeah. They will murder literally everybody you've ever met at the drop of a hat.
So with that, my point is, I think we're going to introduce a very powerful being to be more of an overseer than Thanos, because definitely they built Thanos as like this overpower, unstoppable force in the universe. And I feel like they're going to have to introduce somebody who's just a new tier up.
And see, that's the one Deus Ex Machina I'm going to give them, because, like, Captain Marvel at this point, I mean, she is like Superman power.
Mm-hmm.
She's practically a god.
Yeah. I did look up her powers. It's like a laundry list long. So,
and it's interesting what version of Carol Danvers Captain Marvel we're going to get. Is she I'm assuming she's going to be Captain Marvel, because up until a few years ago, she was just Miss Marvel. And then she, went up through the military rank and become super OP powered. So I assume we're going to get that version of Carol Danvers. But at the same time, are we going to get the one that led SWORD, which is pretty much the space equivalent of SHIELD, which would explain some stuff why Carol is so very well equipped to deal with something like Thanos, because that is a space issue, and you would think if you're the space shield, you got contingencies for everything that could go wrong in space.
That makes sense. That would explain her absence on Earth too.
Yeah,
she
because
she's dealing with something else.
She's offloading the sword.
Yeah, so that makes sense. I mean, I know they're jumping back to 90s, and we get a 2-eye Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, so we totally see how Nick Fury loses his eye in this movie, right?
That's going to be crazy.
Oh my God!
I wonder if it's
Rocket
just simple like
a. I'm calling it now. Rocket goes through time and steals Sam Jackson's eye.
Well, I'm going to say oyster fork, because I feel like it's going to be something crazy.
Well, it's definitely going to be like, watch it be something like he's opening like a tab or something, and the ring flies up and takes his eye out. Yeah, not only is it something stupid like a soda, but it's a tab, so it's double stupid.
I like that theory. I was thinking fireworks, but yeah, tab.
No, he's not JPP. Come on.
Or a BB gun that he got for Christmas. But
there you go.
That's what you got.
That's
he's going to shoot his eye out.
And he does. And he is on all the posters for why BB guns should be banned.
And no name is the Lord. No, sorry.
So my last question I have, and the only reason I have it on here is because I saw so much buzz about it, is Gamora in the Soul Realm?
Why is Gamora?
I'm glad you asked that question, because this is something the girlfriend and I talked about on the way back from our second viewing. I had seen that theory after I saw it for the first time, so I was paying attention on the second viewing, trying to see if I could pick up stuff. The scene where after Thanos snaps and he goes to talk to what we assume is a flashback of Gamora.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, we assume it's a flashback, but if you notice in the background, it is all yellow and orangish yellow and reddish yellow hues in the background and on the horizon. That is the color of the Soul Stone. So I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that Gamora's soul is trapped inside of that Soul Stone, much like the people who were snapped out of reality are either in the reality gem or they're in the Soul Stone.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it was just brought up. I knew the Soul Stone. There was like a soul realm, but I think when I read the comics, I didn't pay much attention to that kind of silliness. But
yeah, I'll be honest. Like, I've read the Infinity Wars, I've read the Infinity Gauntlets multiple times. There are a lot of points where I just kind of like my eyes glaze over. It's like I'm just going through pages. Come on.
yeah, there's a lot of talking in those comics. I mean,
There
like
is,
for a
and
kid, it's like, come on.
I am so glad they did not go with the whole storyline of Thanos just wants to bone Death. like I am so glad they decided to pivot away from that storyline. Like when Red Skull showed up, I was like, okay, here we go. Here comes Death, and now Thanos wants to get his rocks off on her bones. But okay, no, it's Red Skull, even better. So so far I'm glad they're staying away from that storyline.
Yeah. I remember that too, because when you brought it up, they were talking about that. I don't remember the other day, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember that. That was ooh.
Plus, like, in that comic, like Nebula had a much bigger role than she does now.
Yes.
Because like in the comics, Nebula is very crucial in removing Thanos from power, because Thanos decides to hold her in a state of not death, but not life, a state of undeath, and it's pretty much living torture. And at one point, she gets to wear the gauntlet, and she can't handle it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing, though. I'm kind of torn because I kind of want to look up her contract if you can find it, but I don't. And the other part of it is, would Nebula be a good fit in the Guardians?
Like,
would it be okay to let go? Because I think she is, right? She is a part of the Guardians.
She's part of the Guardians. I mean, she ends Guardians 2 as at least we assume she's part of the team.
Far as like, I think, right, and that's what I'm saying is I think.
And Mantis takes her call. Remember?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, as far as we, the viewer, knows, she is a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, I kind of agree with you. Like, it almost feels like Walk Hard a little bit. Like the wrong kid died. Like, Gamora's dead, and we got Nebula.
Wait, no, but let me tell you,
Sure.
As much as I love Gamora, Nebula is awesome. Like,
she is awesome, but she ain't the baddest woman in the galaxy.
I agree with that, but I love. Now, this is some of my Doctor Who fanboy coming through, but I love Karen Gillan.
Boy.
I love it, and I think she does a great job. Like her limited performance in Infinity War, she's awesome. She's really good. So
it's very good. Yeah, like every scene she's in, like we talk about Dave Bautista stealing the scene, she's right there with him.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed her in Guardians too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought she did a great job of fleshing out that character.
Her character had a lot of growth.
The arc that she and Gamora both took in Guardians 2 was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
I did some Googling. I stayed away from contracts, but I think there could be some conflict here.
Uh-oh.
She is Uhura, so I'm gonna have to let go of that old Marvel thing and go back to Star Trek. And
yeah, okay.
And wait a minute. Now, I understand Star Trek's important, but we all know when it comes to bowing down to the gods of the cinema, she's in Avatar 2 and 3, so we're going to have to let that happen.
Wow, she has a lot of powerful movie masters to please. I guess a lesser extent Star Trek. Sorry.
And she's a part of the pony community, as she has been in My Little Pony the movie. So she has lots of brony fans.
Oh Lord, wow, that's a built-in fan base right there.
She's truly the utility player of the cinema.
So, like, if you're her, who do you bow the knee to first? James Cameron or Mickey Mouse? Yeesh.
Oh, you go Mickey Mouse all day.
Got big pockets.
Yeah. Yeah. All day, every day. And
I own you, James.
Eventually, Well, let's be honest. We know Disney's going to own Avatar outright eventually.
Wait, be sure to listen to Monday Morning Monorail. Oh.
I'll straight bulldoze that park, the park. I'll turn it into a sewage plant.
I almost feel like Zoe Saldana at this point is like the Andy Serkis. Like she's like the female Andy Serkis. She doesn't do the motion cap stuff like he does. Every movie that she's in like full body makeup.
Oh,
yeah, I see that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Well, she wasn't in makeup in Star Trek.
Not in Star Trek, but yeah.
I mean, I'm sure she put some makeup on.
But she is signed up to do Avatar all the way through 5. There's going to be a lot of makeup.
Good word.
Yeah.
Yeah, can we start like laying wagers? Like, is that going to make it to 5?
Oh yeah. I think it will, and I'll tell you why. Disney's going to push it forward because they've invested a whole lot of money in their theme parks in regard to Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
But they invested a lot.
And you can hear about that on the Morning Monorail.
That's right.
Exactly. Oh, that's the Morning Monorail. Wow, you're really going to have to edit all these. I'm sorry. But it's like they've invested money into the parks. They haven't invested money into the movies. And James Cameron wants to make like 17 of them.
I know they want to go on forever. Let's be honest.
It's cracking me up. James Cameron is getting a little salty that all the superheroes are winning at the box office. Did y'all see that story?
Mm-hmm.
I did see that, and I did see his whole take on it.
And I'm thinking, like, James, shut up and get back to writing Avatar 2 that will be released in 2027.
Can we take a moment and just say that I'm sorry, you sidetracked me there with that Avatar thing. Avengers Infinity War has been out for what, 2.5 weeks? Or not even 2.5 weeks.
Not even.
It has almost made $1.2 billion.
I was wondering when we were going to talk numbers.
Yeah. There we go. Box Office Mojo. By the way, that's where y'all need to go if you want to find out movie numbers.
Yeah,
or the numbers. It'll give you production stuff if you want to get real in depth.
Well, it had a huge budget. By the way, it
estimated 400 million.
Yeah, but no, that matters not because it has made at this point 1.2, if you're rounding up, $1 billion in the box office.
A billion.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, let that sink in.
Yeah.
I did have one more thing.
Yep.
Smokes.
Pro or con, Hulkbuster.
Oh, I liked it.
And especially in the trailer, it was a very nice misdirection because everybody saw the Hulkbuster armor in Wakanda with Captain America, like in that, Avengers pose. So everybody thought Tony Stark was going to be in Wakanda. I love the fact that it ended up being Bruce Banner because he can't get his green thing up.
He needs some Cialis or something at this point, like
some Hulk Alice.
Hulk Alice. No, actually, I think in Marvel Comics it's called a mutant growth hormone. So MGH.
Him and Stallone need to hook up then.
Ooh, I'm staying away from that one.
I'm not. Come at me, Stallone.
That is
Come at me with your plastic face.
At newscafe.com.
No. Love your movies, though. Love your movies. He's doing a Rambo, where he takes on a Mexican cartel. That's
my God, Rambo 5. Yeah, Rambo 5.
No, I would love that. From a chair in a jazzy. He's just got that freaking machine gun.
Oh my God, I'm for this. Yes.
I think you should take on all the snowflakes in the world today. Let me tell you something. Can I go on my snowflake rant for a minute? No, I'm just kidding.
Here we go. In your face, libtards. God. The hot take kid over here, Justin Kritzinger.
Did we cover all your questions?
We did. I only have one more.
Okay.
The future of Thanos, regardless of what happens.
Thanos doesn't make it past the second
movie. He going down.
I mean, dead, or
yeah.
we just blasted into the universe?
Like he's going to somehow be erased from history or something. Like it's going to be bad.
From existence.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a missed opportunity for that, by the way.
They could have thrown in some Back to the Future references, but Doctor Who did make a reference.
Speaking of references, this is something I didn't even pick up on my second viewing when I was looking for it. There's an Arrested Development Easter egg / shout out in Infinity Wars because the Russo brothers directed a handful of episodes of Arrested Development, and according to the internet, a Blue Man
Man
in
group.
Venom cutoffs is somewhere in the collector's.
David Cross is in there smiling at you somewhere.
Yep. So somewhere, Dr. Tobias Funke is there in his Never Nude cutoff.
So here's the funny
he blew
thing.
Himself prematurely.
Here's the funny thing. So we're watching of course, we're sitting there. You know, as you said, we've been trained like good boys and girls to wait through the credits. We're sitting there reading the credits because what else are you going to do? Waiting for the post-credit scene. And there's one credit, and it says it's like a special thank you to Arrested Development for use of their character. And I was like, what does that mean?
What?
Where did that happen? And I even I looked at Sam and I was like, did you see any kind of a reference to Arrested Development in this movie?
And then she responded to you, her
She was like, what?
egg.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. I immediately Googled it. I was like, what Arrested Development character shows up in Infinity War? And it's David Cross's character in full Blue Man group and cut off shorts. The Collector has somehow obtained him.
Not only did he get a Never Nude, he got the only blue Never Nude.
Yeah.
But that is so
amazing.
The Collector. He finds the most rare and unique things in the universe.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And excuse my dog as she loses her mind at the moment, but she's a big Arrested Development fan.
Yeah, she's saying no touching.
What can I say?
No touching.
She loves chocolate-covered bananas.
Oh, by the way, I know we're not talking about Arrested Development, but we now are. On Netflix, this past Friday, they released the recut season 4.
Oh, okay.
So it's more like seasons 1 through 3 because originally and I know this isn't Avengers at all. They did a whole like Rashomon thing where each episode.
I was about to say, is it a kosher cut?
No, not quite. Though George Sr. did play a Jewish-esque character at one point, so it might be kosher. I don't know, but
Nice.
they released a cut that's more like seasons 1 through 3, like 22 minutes, like following the plot as opposed to jumping around. So I'm enjoying it so far. But anyways, we return you back to your Avengers song.
Okay. At this point, by the way, guys, we have almost nearly gone 2 hours talking about Infinity War. Like you could, we always joke about.
To say
We always
I
joke
did too.
about how you could play our tracks like underneath the film, and it'd be like watching a commentary track. Like this one's gonna make it there. So I feel like at this point we need to start getting to let's wrap it up. So Landon, you've got stuff to say. What have we missed?
well, fine. If we're gonna head to the end game, like Strange said to Stark, where do y'all think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is gonna head to after they deal with Thanos? Because again, I haven't seen Avengers 4, but spoiler alert, I feel pretty confident saying they're going to figure out how to stop Thanos. What next big bad are they going to fight? Is it going to be Doom? Is it going to be Galactus? Is it going to be the Annihilus wave? Like, where does Marvel go after this? Because like it very well could be the Annihilus wave, especially with Captain Marvel being one of the forefront characters going forward, especially with the Guardians, assuming they all get undusted. I mean, the Guardians are still printing money, there's stuff in space, so it could be the Annihilus.
Here's what I think, because exactly where do you go? You've already raised the stakes to like universal genocide, right? So I don't know.
Galactic genocide, not just universal.
Like, I don't know how you go past that, but I really do think, X-Men, I'm sorry, Marvel Fox is developing a Dark Phoenix movie, right? And now Disney's absorbing 20th Century Fox. So I think the next big bad is Galactus. It has to be. Because
it has to be.
I think so too.
How do you elevate?
I believe the same thing because I feel like we need to reintroduce the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
No, first they need to fix the Fantastic Four.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's how you get there.
Yeah.
You introduce the Fantastic Four, and they're like, "Hey, I know you've been fighting Thanos, but let me tell you something about a planet eater." And then you introduce Galactus. So
I think that's the next stage. I really do. Because otherwise, what are you going to do? What matters past what has happened at this point?
Like, honest, I mean, that's the thing. It's like you've raised the scale to where it is a literal, like, galactic, universal, level event. It ain't just the northeast of America. It ain't half the planet. It ain't the solar system. It's literally all of existence.
Yeah.
So where do you
It's
raise
hard
the
to
stakes?
elevate from
And I guess if you introduce a giant entity that literally is a eater of planets, that would make sense. But I mean, like, I guess, like, where do the remaining Marvel movies going forward raise the stakes to? Because it's like, I'm not saying this is going to be a bomb for Marvel, because at this point, like, Marvel might not ever have a bomb, but like, I'm still going to have a hard time getting excited for Ant-Man and Wasp, because, like, yeah, it's going to happen before all the stuff in Infinity Wars, but it's like, I'm sorry, like, I'm going to be asking, like, how are y'all going to save Spider-Man? Because, damn it, you have to save Spider-Man.
Well, here's the other side of it. I was kind of thinking as we're talking, maybe we do go very internal. Maybe we do go back to the small potatoes, you know, everybody fighting little guys everywhere. Because, you know, yeah, you save the universe, but if you can't save your planet, what goes it do you? You know?
Well, yeah, I mean,
if you're feeding the neighborhood and your house is burning down.
Spider-Man said you can't be the friendly neighborhood
If
spider
there's no neighborhood.
if there's no neighborhood. And,
Exactly.
like, that was a great line.
That was a great line. I yet again, killing it. Even the writing for him is superb.
Tom Holland, so great. By the way, apparently that whole last scene of him talking with Stark, that was all improvised on Tom Holland. Apparently all they told him was Peter doesn't want to die. And that's what Tom Holland came up with. Like,
Nice.
Holy God.
Well, he is British, which now this makes
Does that help?
Well, what I'm saying is now it makes total sense why it was like a Doctor Who line, because that's that he's probably a Doctor Who guy, I would imagine.
Well,
Sure.
he's Brito, so yeah, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they could go internal. I'm excited about Ant-Man and Wasp, but that's for personal reasons. You know, I don't know. I think they could bring it back as they need to, really, because if you just keep doing these space odysseys, then you get really away from being able to be anything else than these galactic battles, you know.
Mhm.
And then you're just Battlestar Galactica, and we saw how that turned out.
Well,
So-
and heck, like you say, there being all space and galactic, you can't ground, for the lack of a better term, characters. It can't make them relatable if they're just, you know, these far distant
Exactly.
ding dongs in space.
I think, and that's why I'm really applauding this Captain Marvel thing to take it back to the 90s. I'm like, that's a good touch, because most of your people will recognize the 90s right now. At least your moviegoers, everybody's lived it at some point or time. Maybe the younger crowd
Not
hasn't, but
everybody's
they've heard
lived it.
about it. You know, that's their retro rock.
By the way,
But to be
old
fair,
man.
screw young people.
I was going to say, by
Not
the way,
literally, but screw young people.
by the way, old man, it's 2018, so there are 18-year-olds who have not lived the 90s.
No, I'm just saying but all
Dear
your
Lord,
people,
oh my
people in the
God.
audience are in their 40s. Let's talk about the people you see in your theater. Yes, young crowds are going to it, but they're going, I really like that Tom Holland. He's really funny. I saw him on YouTube or whatever I watched. Insert social media. And I mean, it's just what it is.
I saw him on the Facebook before I came to the movie projection place, my fellow young people.
I remember when the reels used to bust. But you know,
Do y'all have any of those silent pictures?
hey Dad, who's Nirvana? I found this weird disc thing. So it's just, I'm just saying that the 90s is a good thing to attach, because a lot of people don't attack the 90s. They always jump to the 80s or they go to the 50s, you know, because I guess it's just easy to get costumes because that's what we're
Or
making.
40s, we see a lot of World War II references.
Exactly, you know, because that's the greatest war that we remember, you
Yeah.
know.
I thought it was the greatest generation.
It
So-
was for a while.
Okay.
Because they had the greatest war.
The greatest war. So
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Touche.
but don't say the Great War, because that was World War I. So I just feel like I applaud them for, you know, jumping the 90s, work with that. Plus, you know, you get to throw Mr. Jackson in there with two eyes, so you don't have to wear a patch for half the movie or all.
Samuel Mother, almost F word
Exactly.
Jackson.
Sam M. F. Jackson. But I don't know.
I almost got to say the F word in this movie.
He did almost.
He got
he
close.
might as well. They all said something.
By the way, my family, we just watched Kong Skull Island at home yesterday. So me and McKenna saw it in the theater, but the rest of us watched it again yesterday. So Sam's seeing it for the first time. It is, by the way, it still holds. It's really good.
It's so good, even in the home theater. So good.
But Sam Jackson dies in the exact same way in that movie that he does in Infinity War, like getting ready to drop an F-bomb. Interrupted.
Hey, I would say he's typecast, but you know what? That still pays the checks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So good choice, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's right. Bleep. All right.
I'm all over the board. Sorry.
All right. No.
No, internal, I think, is the best way to go. Personally,
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I've talked it out. I think we need to bring it. We need to bring it back to our local villains. We need to bring it back.
I think so. I think you have to. Yeah.
Well, hell, like you talk about bringing it back. Like, look at who's left. They're bringing it back to the original Avengers, outside of the talking raccoon and Don Cheadle.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Don Cheadle.
What's there to talk about Don Cheadle?
He kind of looks like the Crypt Keeper.
Hey, be nice to Don Cheadle.
Hey,
he's one. I can almost guarantee when they were putting whatever that guy's name in Russ Mosquito or whatever his name was in makeup for the Red Skull, they looked at Don Cheadle and go,
"Dear Lord." Okay, I'm almost gonna jump in here. Like Don.
I love Don Cheadle. I love Don Cheadle. I just want to make some jokes.
No,
okay. That actually does remind me of kind of a gripe I wanted to pick. Okay, like literally the has hit the fan, and space monsters are coming to wreck the entire world, and the Secretary of Defense, Thunderbolt Ross, still wants to talk about how Cap, Black Widow, and the Falcon are criminals against the United States. Like,
you thought that
are
was
you
strange?
kidding me? Like, can y'all suck a dick for a second?
No, I was like, this is current climate.
I mean, I suppose, but like, I would be jumping up on like, hey, who the hell is the Secretary of State at this point? Like that, it's like a freaking revolving door at this point. I'm gonna have to do a Google search for my joke. Do you know how messed up that is? For me to do a Google search for my joke? Good Lord.
I love where your head's at on this one, because I was like, oh, this makes sense. This is relatable.
No, it's just Mike Pompeo. Oh, yeah, he was just sworn in like last week. Okay, but it's like
like the other Pompeo won't last long.
Exactly. It's like, what sense does this make? Okay, yeah, y'all are still against the law, so please don't come and help us from a threat that could wipe out literally half of all existence. Like, that was one of my complaints. It's like, really? And Don Cheadle literally said the only reason they're criminals is because you dumbass say they are. Like, you would think at some point they'd be like, okay, yeah, y'all have done some stuff, but we need some help.
What cracks me up is Rhodey was like, well, that's a court martial. I'm like, what do you think?
That was so good. Rhodey's like, I am all out of to give at this point. Like,
yeah, the
world is gonna end. Like, rock and roll. Let's lock and load.
Yeah. I don't know. That was the only questions I had. Future and we've made some guesses, so I think we've covered it all.
Are we sure we're out of questions? Because we're at 2 hours at this point. So
yeah, I've noticed Jay's been very quiet. He's like, "Can y'all shut up? Just stop talking."
No, it's not that. It's just I'm thinking at this point this has got to be 2 episodes. I have to split it up because
that's fine. Just like the Infinity Wars.
Yeah,
exactly.
We'll release the other one when the movie releases.
Okay.
Wait, no, we're not going to do that. But what I will do is, and you can edit this wherever we actually end it. This podcast ends with me looking at a sunrise of a grateful podcast universe.
That's right. I say, here's what I want to do. Let's do this. Let's give it a rating out of, what can I say? We like to do kind of witty, like something out of 10, like exploded skulls or something. What can we say from Infinity Wars?
How many Don Cheadles?
How many Don Cheadles?
18, on a scale of 0 to 18, because of all 18 Marvel movies that came out before this.
0 to 18.
Exactly. Right. I'm going to make it as difficult as possible.
Okay. All right, 0 to 18. So out of 0 to 18 Marvel movies.
We're really going with this? Holy crap.
We're doing it. Landon, You set it up. You started us off. Where would you put it on a scale of 0 to 18?
Ooh, 0 to 18. I'm going to have to carry the 1 here. Solve for X and not the X-Men. I'll go 15 and a half out of 18.
That's pretty strong.
Like, it's very strong, and I do understand why people, like, if you think about what you saw, how it can take away from some of what you viewed. But I'm rating it on my experience in the theaters, that 2 hours and 39 minutes contained of me just in a dark room watching this movie and letting everything that happened wash over me. Yeah, you can talk about how, oh, we know these characters are going to come back. Oh, yeah, we know this is going to be undone. But just like taking it at face value, my initial viewing, and hell, even the second viewing, I feel very confident with that rating.
All right. Matt?
I just went straight to the thing and thought, what's the number I thought? And I'm going to say 14.
Okay.
And it's not because he picked 15. I was thinking, oh, is he going to pick the same number as me? But it's 14. And the reason I say 14 is I did the math. It's 90%.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not 100% satisfied. That's 90% satisfaction.
Look at you doing math. I'm impressed.
I was trying, guys.
Hey,
So I don't know. I felt like it hit all the marks it needed to do. It was the epic that everybody wanted. There were some things in it that kind of bothered me, but like you said, all my favorite characters smashing, trashing, and talking the walk. I was happy with that stuff, and that's enough for me to say that this is a 90% movie for me. So 14.
14 out of 18, by the way, is 78%. Just
I got it.
you're talking to an
that
accountant
right there is
here.
what we like to call podcasting, man.
I may have hit 20 instead. So.
You never do it on the air, but God bless you, you're gonna do it anyway.
I did. It's still 14.
Okay, fine. I'm going 16, and I feel like I'm typically the tough grader on these movies, and I'm giving it the highest score. I really enjoyed it, start to finish. I've said publicly that I can't make it through a movie longer than 2 hours without a bathroom break. I hailed it so that I wouldn't.
Too. I held it the whole.
Oh my God, yes, so did I.
So that
and
I wouldn't
was
miss
the
a thing.
ding-dong that got the large drink going in.
I did the same thing, a big cherry Coke like I always do. I tried to be judicious with my drinking, and I still drank like that whole thing about an hour into it. So, but I held it.
Go anywhere, right?
I held it because I didn't want to leave. You know, so Samantha, I told her, I leaned over to her and I was like, I've really got to pee. And the time when I said that was when Thanos was talking to Doctor Strange on Titan, and she was like, they're just talking. You should go now. And I'm so glad I didn't go.
I didn't want to miss any of it. I didn't want to miss any of it.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
I had to pee when he killed Loki. And I held that thing. I'm thank you, Regal, for having reclining seats so I could expand my bladder and let it just kind of like an ocean calm. Just be cool.
Exactly.
Be cool,
Take
bladder.
the pressure off the bladder. So
right.
Yeah, I'd go 16. It gave me everything I wanted. The complaints I have are really nitpicky kind of complaints, and for the most part, people have complained in Marvel movies that heroes don't die. Well, forget that now. And also, they've complained that maybe the villains haven't been that threatening. Forget that too. So at this, I would say at this stage, it's 16 out of 8. I would put it maybe the highest rating I would give to any Marvel film, I think, was probably Civil War. This was better for me. This is my favorite Marvel movie. So that's where I'm at. So
I'd still probably go Winter Soldier, but I mean, like, again, like it there might be something that's taken away in multiple viewings. Like I obviously said, it didn't have the same hit on the second viewing, but like that first viewing, it's up there. Like it ain't my favorite, but it's definitely top 3.
Yeah.
That first Guardians for me.
Yeah. I don't blame you for either one of those picks, but just in my book, I've got to put this one on top. Yeah.
And
that's freaking once again, Marvel is now 19 movies into successfully killing it.
It's ridiculous.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's insane.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, their business model is nothing but making money.
And I think I said this. I don't know if this was something I said on the podcast or not, but if any DC related person was sitting watching Infinity Wars, they were crapping their pants Because
they were.
Oh yeah.
They were mentally writing their resignation letter.
Warner Brothers literally was probably looking for a buyer.
yeah,
Can't beat this. Sell
like
it.
I'm sure somebody with the ability to look up what I'm about to say as opposed to me actually saying it is going to totally correct me. But didn't Infinity War's opening weekend total top what
Yes.
Justice League
Yeah,
did?
it did.
I saw that article.
it did.
Wow.
It did.
Like, ooh, that is a tough pill to swallow.
It is, but that's where we're at right now. So, like, DC's got to figure something out.
Hey, it's almost like one of these studios gave 10 years to let something naturally happen as opposed to trying to shotgun it and do weird science.
You're right. Trying to catch up. Yeah. All right. Well, I think at this point we ought to do our plugs and get out of here because people are probably tired of listening to us. So,
Yeah, that and I won't shut up about Infinity Wars unless Jay tells me to stop.
I'm saying stop right now. So, Landon, plug
See
your
how
stuff.
that goes. All right. Wait, no, I'm not giving my email. Twitter.com/Landoz, LANDOZ. That's where you can find the latest happenings from me. I also run a website, buttmunchchips.com, buttmunchchips.
Sit on your butt.
And munch.
Where you can find the exclusively posted Game of Thrones talk, aka GOT Talk, where myself and Hunter East break down each episode of HBO's award-winning series Game of Thrones. That is a complete rundown of Season 7. We have heard some rumblings that possibly for the final season of Game of Thrones, Season 8, each episode in that season is going to be possibly 2 hours running time, which is super because there's only like 6 episodes in this final season, but that is yet to be confirmed. But be sure to keep an eye out on my Twitter and buttmunchchips.com, and we will let you know when that, I guess, becomes official or is officially debunked. I don't know. Literally what I'm telling you, please go to my website, follow me on Twitter, and the rest will take care of itself.
Amen. Landon, and I appreciate that concise plug. All right, Matt, hit it.
Tracking Track Podcast at Tracking Track Pod on Twitter. We are in kind of a hiatus right now, but we have got some episodes planned. One of those, which I keep promising and not delivering, is the first movie of the Star Trek world with the Shat, Star Trek the movie. We need to watch that one when we get a chance. There's one of us who hasn't done that. I won't mention his name, but
Thomas.
Subtle.
But, we've got to get that one under the belt. Also, we're going to be releasing some mini episodes. There's lots of news that's been exploding on Twitter and other news about Star Trek Under One House and some of the things that they're doing with the cast. And we've got a long wait because it's going to be 2019 before we see the next season of Discovery. And there may be some things that happen with that, as has been happening with Disney and the acquisition of Fox's fun things. You might see that with Star Trek. But like I said, Tracking Track Podcast if you want to catch up with the show as you watch Discovery. So hit us up at Tracking Track Pod if you have some thoughts, feelings, or just plain want to tell us we suck, which please don't do that. I can't handle any more of it.
He's fragile.
And before Jay gets in here, I want to announce that Nearfall Radio, after coming off of a hiatus, might be going back on a hiatus. Woo. Because after a month of wrestling that, let's be honest, was kind of meh, my enthusiasm for the product has kind of waned. But keep an eye out for that. Also, want to announce a new podcast that myself and Jay's wife, Sam Kritzinger, are doing. We call it Booty and the Beast. Booty and the Beast. Each episode, one of us is Booty, the other one is the Beast.
Let me just say, I think you're Booty.
Well, I mean, if you've seen my booty, I'm definitely the Booty.
Yeah.
Called the Moneymaker. I have a sweet ass.
And I will take it from here, gentlemen, because I've got something new to plug, which launched on Monday, May the 7th. At this point, I'm sure that this episode's going to come out after that. So that is Monday Morning Monorail, which is a Walt Disney World podcast. And Landon, as you've heard featured on this particular podcast, and
on this podcast?
On this one, this very podcast.
Wait,
and
me?
Yeah, you're the guy. And Nearfall Radio.
That sounds terrible.
Got Talk. He has a segment on the show. My wife and kids are we call them the monorail co-pilot. We're all co-pilots on this monorail. And we're really excited. We launched with 3 episodes. So if you have any interest at all in Walt Disney World and traveling to such a place, I give it a listen and then give us some feedback. There's all kinds of stuff over there. And if you listen to the show, you'll find out how to interact with us. So that's all I'm going to say. Monday morning.
I got a
Can
voicemail and everything.
We do.
Can I jump in?
Yep.
So I listened to the first episode, and let me say, the cohesion and the heart that went into that is felt.
Oh, thanks.
It was very good. I enjoyed it. You know, I don't like waiting in lines. I don't like dealing with the pandemonium that is a park.
Mm-hmm.
But it was nice to ride along with your family and not have to deal with any of that.
There you go.
So,
Appreciate
vote
that.
of confidence over here.
Appreciate that.
And I've listened to the first 3 episodes. I will echo what Matt said. It's almost like you guys are some sort of family unit. And as a whole,
Losers. No, I'm just kidding.
they didn't suck. So way to go, buddy.
Nice. I appreciate that. We'll take it at this point.
Absolutely. 5 stars. It didn't suck.
Well, if you want to get involved with our conversation, that is going to be at nerd_news_cafe. That's our Twitter account. You can email us at nerdnewscafe@gmail.com. We've got a Facebook fan page. We're on YouTube. We are everywhere that you can possibly imagine. We're even right behind you right now.
Oh my God, look out.
So don't look over your shoulder. Don't blink.
Especially if you're driving, we are not responsible for anything that happens while you drive.
That's
Going off this crazy train.
Maybe Matt, but definitely not me, Landon.
Hey.
What? You have more money than me.
But
Who told you that?
Hey, nobody told me that, but just based on what I did in Vegas last week, that's a pretty safe assumption.
Okay, true.
if you want to send Landon money, that's at LANDOZ on Twitter. Otherwise,
Yeah, if you send me a DM, we will figure out the PayPal specific to that. That I guarantee. Also, $50,000 a pop. Just
There you
put
go.
it out there one more time.
otherwise,
That won't be the last time.
otherwise, we're going to see you back here next week. Thanks so much for listening. We have been Nerd News Cafe. Thanks. Good night.